In the year 2387, 847 sentient species made the same catastrophic mistake. They voted unanimously to enslave humanity. The massive council chamber orbited the galactic core, its crystalline walls reflecting the light of a billion stars. Representatives from across the galaxy had gathered for what they believed would be a simple administrative decision. The humans, after all, were nothing more than an upstart species that had stumbled into faster-than-light travel barely 50 years ago. Ambassador Zekthara of the Vorthan Empire rose from his floating platform, his tentacles writhing with barely contained contempt. "The human infestation spreads across our galaxy like a plague," he declared, his voice echoing through translation matrices. 200 colonies in 5 decades. They terraform worlds we've deemed uninhabitable. They establish trade routes through sectors we've controlled for millennia. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. The crystalline Shialari chimed their harmony of displeasure. The militant Krogoth beat their war drums in rhythm. Even the ancient ethereals, beings of pure energy who rarely involve themselves in galactic politics, pulsed with an uncomfortable orange glow. "They steal our resources," hissed Chancellor Vex of the Serpentine Confederacy, her scaled head swaying hypnotically. "Their mining operations extract ore from asteroids we've reserved for future expansion. Their agricultural colonies produce food that undercuts our established markets." The economic argument struck deep. Human efficiency was becoming legendary. Where alien species required decades to establish a foothold on new worlds, humans accomplished the same in mere years. Their adaptability was unsettling. Their technology, while crude by galactic standards, advanced at an alarming rate, but it was General Throck of the Krogoth war host who voiced what everyone truly feared. "They are chaos incarnate," he growled, his massive frame casting shadows across the chamber floor. "We've observed their history. Constant warfare, genocides, nuclear weapons used against their own species. They lack the civilized restraint that defines true sapience." The vote was called. 847 species. 847 affirmations, not a single dissent. The humans would be classified as a Class 7 servile species. Their worlds would become resource extraction sites. Their people would serve the galaxy's true rulers. The celebration was immediate. Champagne equivalents flowed. Trade agreements were drafted for the future division of human space. Military commanders discussed the logistics of occupation with casual confidence that the ultimatum was dispatched to Earth through standard diplomatic channels. The message was simple: submit to galactic authority or face annihilation. You have 72 standard hours to respond. When Earth's response arrived, it contained only one word: no. The aliens laughed. The humans had 3 billion people spread across their colonies. The Galactic Coalition commanded over 2 trillion soldiers. Human ships numbered in the thousands. The Allied fleets contained over 1 million vessels. It would be the shortest war in galactic history. Admiral Kestar of the Hegemony 5th Fleet received the honor of leading the first wave. His armada of 10,000 ships would demonstrate galactic superiority by crushing the human home system in a matter of hours. The first skirmish occurred at Proxima Station, a human outpost on the edge of their territory. Kestar deployed a standard intimidation formation, expecting immediate surrender. Instead, the small human garrison opened fire. What followed defied every tactical prediction. The humans didn't fight like civilized beings. They used suicide runs. They targeted life support systems. They broadcast messages designed to demoralize alien crews. Most disturbing of all, they seemed to enjoy the combat. When the dust settled, Kestar's mighty fleet had been reduced to burning wreckage. The human defenders, outnumbered 50 to 1, had not only survived but claimed victory. As rescue pods fled the battle zone, A single human transmission followed them across space. Tell your masters we're just getting started. Asterisk, the news from Proxima Station reached Earth within hours. In response, humanity revealed what they had been preparing for since first contact with galactic civilization 50 years ago. Hidden shipyards throughout the Sol system activated simultaneously. Massive defense platforms emerged from asteroid fields where they had been disguised as mining operations. The humans had been building not just colonies, but fortress worlds. Every human settlement contained weapon systems that could obliterate entire fleets. Admiral Sarah Chun stood in the command center of Luna Base, watching holographic displays track incoming alien armadas. Phase 1 complete, she announced. To her staff, they've taken the bait. Now they learn why we've been called the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The aliens had studied human history, but they had fundamentally misunderstood what they were seeing. They viewed humanity's constant warfare as primitive savagery. In reality, it was the galaxy's most comprehensive military education program. While other species had enjoyed millennia of peace, humans had refined the art of war across every possible battlefield. The Battle of Kepler 442b demonstrated this perfectly. When the Vorthan's Second Fleet arrived to claim the agricultural world, they found human colonists in full retreat. The aliens landed their occupation forces, established their command centers, and began processing facilities for human slaves. It was exactly what their tactical computers had predicted. Then the trap closed. The fleeing humans had led the Vorthans into a carefully prepared kill zone. Hidden artillery positions opened fire from 3 directions. Orbital platforms that had been disguised as defunct satellites came online. The retreating colonists turned and attacked with military precision that stunned the alien commanders. "Impossible," gasped Admiral Zek Thara as his flagship burned around him. "They're farmers, not soldiers." "Every human is a soldier," came the reply from the human commander. "We've been preparing for this war since we learned you existed." The Ghost Fleet campaign followed immediately. Human stealth technology, reverse engineered from captured alien vessels and improved beyond recognition, allowed entire battle groups to move undetected through enemy space. Alien supply convoys simply vanished. Communication relays were destroyed before they could transmit warnings. Reinforcement fleets arrived at battles that had ended days earlier, but it was the Titan Gambit that truly terrified the Galactic Coalition. Humans had weaponized their asteroid mining operations. Massive rocks, fitted with fusion drives and guidance systems, began appearing in alien home systems. The psychological impact was devastating. Every alien world now lived under the threat of kinetic bombardment from seemingly empty space. General Throck of the Krogoth faced this reality when a modified asteroid crashed into his species' primary military academy. The impact was precisely calculated to destroy the facility while sparing the surrounding civilian population. The message was clear: humans could end any alien civilization whenever they chose. What truly broke alien morale was humanity's adaptability. Every tactic the aliens employed was countered within days. Every new weapon system was captured, analyzed, and improved. Human engineers seemed to instinctively understand alien technology better than its creators. The Ethereals, desperate to understand their enemies, attempted to probe human minds. They discovered something that chilled their energy-based consciousness to its core. Humans didn't just plan for victory. They planned for the complete elimination of any threat to their species' survival. The hunting phase began 3 months after the first shot was fired. Human battle groups, now equipped with captured alien technology, began systematically hunting down every vessel that had participated in the initial attacks. Alien commanders found themselves prey in their own space, pursued by an enemy that never tired, never gave up, and never forgot. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations learned what humanity's evolutionary history had taught them. When threatened, humans don't just fight back. They ensure the threat never exists again. Within 6 months, the word human had become synonymous with terror across the galaxy. Species that had never heard of Earth now whispered warnings about the apex predators who hunted among the stars. Neutral civilizations scrambled to declare their non-involvement in the Galactic Coalition. Trade routes shifted to avoid any system where humans might appear. The Hegemony Council of Ministers met in emergency session as reports flooded in from across their territory. 17 fleets destroyed, Chancellor Vex reported, her scaled hands trembling as she read casualty figures. Our fortress world at Zarian Prime has fallen. The humans didn't even land ground forces. They simply redirected an asteroid and watched our defenses crumble. The psychological impact was spreading faster than human fleets. Alien crews were abandoning their posts rather than face the possibility of encountering human hunters. Entire star systems were declaring independence from the coalition rather than risk human retaliation. The ancient bonds that had held galactic civilization together for millennia were dissolving under the pressure of human warfare. Ambassador Zek Thara, his once proud tentacles now limp with despair, addressed the remaining coalition members. We tried biological warfare. The humans adapted and returned our own viruses in more lethal forms. We attempted to rally the mechanical collective. The humans had already infiltrated their networks and turned their war machines against us. The Shialari crystalline beings chimed in discordant frequencies, their harmonic unity shattered by fear. Their report was devastating. Human intelligence. Operations had penetrated every major alien government. Secret plans were being countered before they were even implemented. Alien spies were being turned into double agents with disturbing efficiency. The Krogoth war host, the galaxy's most feared military force, had suffered the ultimate humiliation. Their sacred battle fortress, a moon-sized weapons platform that had never been defeated in 1,000 years, had been captured intact by a single human boarding party. The fortress now served as humanity's forward operating base in Krogoth space. General Throck, stripped of his rank and facing execution for his failures, sent one final message to his people. We are no longer predators, we are prey. The humans hunt us across the galaxy with the patience of death itself. The economic collapse followed military defeat. Alien civilizations that had built their prosperity on assumptions of galactic stability watched their currencies become worthless. Trade agreements meant nothing when the signatories were fleeing human advance forces. Entire sectors went dark as alien governments abandoned their territories rather than face human occupation. The Ethereals made one final desperate attempt to end the war through diplomacy. They manifested before human negotiators, beings of pure energy pleading with creatures they had once considered barely sentient. What do you want from us? They asked. Name your price for peace. The human response was delivered with terrifying calm. We want you to remember this lesson for the next 1,000 generations. Never threaten humanity again. By the war's first anniversary, alien resistance had collapsed completely. The mighty coalition that had voted unanimously to enslave Earth was now a collection of refugee fleets fleeing through the Outer Rim. Their former territories were being systematically occupied by human forces who governed with an efficiency that made alien brutality seem clumsy by comparison. The final blow came when human special forces captured the Galactic Council Chamber itself. The same crystalline halls where 847 species had voted to enslave humanity now serve as the headquarters for human operations. The symbolism was intentional and devastating. Alien leaders who had once commanded trillion-being civilizations now huddled in hidden bunkers, sending increasingly desperate peace overtures to human commanders who seemed to have all the time. In the universe, the hunters had become the hunted, and everyone in the galaxy knew it. The war was over. Humanity had won. Now came the terrifying question of what they would do with their victory. Asterisk. The same crystalline chamber that had witnessed humanity's condemnation now hosted the galaxy's surrender. 847 species reduced to terrified. Representatives begging for their civilization's survival faced the humans they had voted to enslave. Admiral Sarah Shun stood where Ambassador Zekthara had once delivered his speech of contempt. The irony was not lost on anyone present. Around her, human officers maintained professional composure, while alien delegates trembled in their environmental suits. The power dynamic had not simply shifted, it had been completely inverted. "We come before you," wheezed the ethereal representative, his energy form flickering with desperation, "to plead for mercy. We acknowledge our grave error in judgment. We beg forgiveness for our aggression against your species." The humans listened in silence as each alien faction delivered their desperate apologies. The Vorthans offered tribute from their core worlds. The Krogoth surrendered their remaining war fleets. The Shi'Alari promised to sing hymns of human superiority for 1,000 years. Each plea was more pathetic than the last. Admiral Chun finally spoke, her voice carrying across the chamber with quiet authority. "Do you know our casualty figures from this war?" The aliens shook their heads, afraid to guess. 43,000 human military personnel killed in action. 18,000 civilians lost during your initial attacks. That's 61,000 human lives. The numbers hung in the air like a death sentence. In a war involving trillions of beings, humanity had lost barely more than a small city's population. The aliens' technological superiority had meant nothing against human tactical brilliance. In contrast, Chun continued, your coalition has lost approximately 2 billion military personnel and suffered the collapse of 17 major civilizations. The efficiency ratio speaks for itself. The human terms were presented without negotiation. Complete disarmament of all military forces beyond basic system defense. Reparations equal to 50% of each species' gross planetary product for the next century. Permanent human oversight of all galactic military activities. Recognition of humanity as the galaxy's primary peacekeeping force. The establishment of human colonies in former alien strongholds. The aliens expected enslavement or extinction. Instead, they received something far more terrifying: human mercy with conditions. They would live, but under a new galactic order where humanity held absolute authority. The species that had voted to enslave Earth would now exist at human discretion. "You mistake our restraint for weakness," Admiral Chun warned as alien delegates signed the surrender documents. "We could have sterilized every world that voted against us. We chose not to because we understand that true power lies in the capacity for mercy, not the compulsion for slaughter." The Pax Humana began immediately. Human peacekeeping forces established bases throughout former alien territory. Surprisingly, these occupations brought stability and prosperity. Human administrators were efficient and fair. Human technology improved alien living standards. The galaxy experienced unprecedented peace under human protection, but the lesson was never forgotten. In schools across 1,000 worlds, alien children learned about the great folly, the day their ancestors tried to enslave humanity. Learned how mercy was a gift that could be withdrawn. They understood that humans remembered everything. Years passed. The galaxy prospered under human guidance. Trade flourished. Scientific advancement accelerated. War between species became obsolete under human oversight. Yet every alien leader knew the truth that governed their existence. They lived because humanity allowed it. The original vote had been 847-0 in favor of enslaving Earth. The final tally was 847-0 in favor of human supremacy. The galaxy had learned the most important lesson in its history: never underestimate humanity, and never threaten what humans protect. In the end, The species that had tried to make humanity serve them now served humanity's vision of galactic peace. It was a mercy they would never dare test again.